لجميع الحضور يكونوا مسؤولين عن الطلبة اللي الفئة العمرية 12 وفوق، مو يكون من 12 وأقل. خلال الورشة أستاذ جاسبر من آتلاب بيعطينا نبذة عن آلية تنزيل البرنامج واستخدامه وكيف ممكن الطلبة يستخدموه. بتكون فرصة لنجاوب على جميع أسئلتكم، ممكن تكتبوا الأسئلة بالعربي أو الإنجليزي في الشات بوكس. نتمنى التوفيق لجميع الفرق المشاركة في البطولة. Jasper to you.
Okay, so I hope I'm audible. So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. So I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a minute. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I hope you all can see my screen. Okay, fine. So before starting with, I'm going to start with the softwares. Okay, so and then I'm going to start with the newcomers, and then I'm going to help the previously registered participants. Okay, so let's talk about the software first. Talking about the softwares, we'll be needing two softwares on our computer. One is the VRT, Virtual Robotics Toolkit. This is the software number one. This software will work fine in all the computers. It could be like a Mac computer or else it could be a Windows computer. This software will work fine in all the computers. All we need is a good memory computer. That's it. Next one will be EV3 Mindstorm software. Okay, so here there will be a small confusion. Okay, so this software is from Lego. Okay, so this will work fine in Windows computer. Okay, but we have some challenges in Mac computer. I'm talking about MacBook. Okay, so what happens is the Lego have released a new version of a software, Mindstorm software. Okay, so what you can see on my screen works fine with VRT. Okay, so this is an old Lego Mindstorm software. So this is how it works. So what we have to do is we have to drag and drop the blocks, and then we have to download programs so that our robot in the VRT software will execute the program. So these two softwares will work great together. But the recent version of Lego Mindstorm software won't work with VRT. So this is the challenge. So here comes the problem. So what you have to do is, so you have to have either a Windows computer so that you can install this version of software, or else a Mac computer whose version number is not above Catalina. It means like 10.15. So Mac OS version number 10.15 above. It's nothing but Catalina. The version is Catalina above. Okay, so if your Mac computer is like 10.14, then it will accept this software, what you're seeing on my screen. Okay, so if your Mac computer is having 10.15, then it won't accept this software. So it will accept only the new version of EV3 software. Okay, so if you have new version of EV3 software, then VRT software won't accept. They won't work together. So VRT and old software will work together fine. Okay, so I hope I'm clear with the softwares, because these are the two most important things. Without these two, we cannot run a competition. Okay, so next thing is this website. So this website is called Robot Virtual Games. So this is the place where we can see the students' progress. So here we have the list of competitions. So it's clear that, so all you have to do is you have to type robotvirtualgames.com in the web browser and then hit enter. There you go. So this is a website. This is how it will look like. So when you click competitions, this is a competitions tab. So it will show you the competitions available in the worldwide. So whatever the competitions that are happening worldwide, everything will be shown here. Okay. So if you scroll down, you can scroll between the pages. So right now we are in the first page. And if you want to move to second page, you can move to second page. So our competition mat, okay, so this is called a competition mat, okay. So when you click here, so this will open up this particular competition. So this is called Unified Robotics Practice Challenge mat. So with the help of this mat only, like our students are going to learn about VRT software, line following programs. There you go. So Unified Robotics Practice Challenge mat. I hope you can see my screen. So if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the registered participants. So these are the students like who have registered already. Okay. So newcomers, no worries. So I'm going to help you with it. So if you want to register for this competition, okay, so what you have to do first is you have to create an account in RVG website. Okay, so without creating an account, you cannot register for the competition. Register meaning not registering your school for the competition, it's registering for this mat. Okay, I told you in the competitions tab, there are plenty of competitions out of which we are going to select our UA Unified Robotics mat and then we are going to play. Okay, so first thing what you have to do is you have to create an account for each and every student who's going to participate in this competition. How to create an account is you have to go to the top right corner. There is a sign called sign in, sign up. When you click that, it will ask you sign in with Microsoft account. Okay, so Microsoft account is mandatory. Without Microsoft account, you cannot be able to log in. So nowadays, like most of the schools are using Microsoft account. So you can use the same if you want to, or else you can go to Microsoft.com website, create an account for your student, and then you can use that account over here. Okay, so now I'm going to use with my account. I'm going to click sign in. There you go. I'm going to type mine. So this is completely free. Anyone can log in. Okay, so leslieoffice@gmail.com. This will be my account. And now next will be the password. As you can see, the website itself is loading. So we have to give some couple of seconds for it to load up. Yeah, there you go. So the moment you sign in, okay, so with your, if you're a newcomer, you have to sign in first. So there will be some procedures which you have to do. So it will ask your email ID, any reference email ID. So all those things, if you give, you will be into this account. So where I'm now is I'm into my profile. See here, now I have logged in successfully. I'm in my account. So if I scroll down, I can set up my avatar. So I can choose any picture I want to. And then here comes my first name and then my last name. Okay. So like code is Z. So if anyone like, so if some schools, if you do have your students who was participating in a Coder Z competition, you might get confused. Okay, I agree with that because here first name and last name has nothing to do with our username. Here we have a complete section called username section. Okay, so this is important. Okay, this section and then this email address section is important. Okay, so first thing, newcomers, when you sign into this RBJ website, come down, like choose your picture. I mean for your students. Okay, so student, enter their first name, last name, their email address. Okay, so here you have to enter the email address and then the username. The username format is, the first is nothing but Jasper. Okay, so I have short formed it. So Jazz, second is Robo, my team name. The third one will be Atlab, my school name. So the format is name, team name, followed by school name. Okay, so this is the format. Okay, so I suggest, like, I request you all to follow the same format, because like with the help of this we can check the students progress, like where they stand in the competition, everything. Okay, so the username format is really important. Please do follow this format. The next one will be the country, and then the region, Dubai. So UAE, Dubai. So other things you can, so date of birth. So I want you to be very proper. So okay, so I want you to enter your student's date of birth, and then you can directly scroll down and then click update my profile. So once you click that, and this will show not verified, but that completely okay. So if you see this sign, don't get worried. So that's completely okay, because like even for me it says not verified, but that's completely okay. So now if you have completely done with this account settings, what you have to do first is you will be receiving a spreadsheet from the organizer. Okay, so that spreadsheet will be asked. Okay, so in that spreadsheet, here they will be asking the username, your student's name, and then the email ID with which you registered this account. Okay, so in the beginning you logged in with an account, right? One email ID, Microsoft email ID. That email ID is important. Okay, so with the help of that email ID and then this username, I want you to fill up the spreadsheet first. Okay, so newcomers, I'm going to repeat again. For newcomers, what you have to do is you have to go to robotvirtualgames.com. First thing is create an account. Create an account for your student. Once you create an account, just copy this, copy your Microsoft ID, and then paste it in the spreadsheet. Okay, because the Microsoft ID and the username are really important. These two things. Okay, so once you create an account for your student, then the work is over. Okay, so what will be your next step is you have to click competitions, because this is the place where all the competitions will come. When you click the competitions, all the competitions will get loaded up. Yes, so I'm going to scroll down. So Unified Robotics Challenge Map is on the first page. So you have to click here and then click register here. Okay, so here for me it's not highlighted. Why means like I have already registered. Okay, so how to check if I'm registered or not? If you scroll down, you will be able to see your username here. So see here, Jazz Robo Atlab. So I have registered successfully for this competition. Okay, so this is the most important part. Okay, so please don't try to register now, because unless you submit your username and the email ID, you won't be able to register. Okay, so today is February 10th, right? So I think Ms. Kaula have given you the time, the last day to submit your email ID is on like 12th of February noon, right?
Yes.
So
So
yeah,
yeah, the 12th at noon is the cutoff.
yeah. So I want you all to submit your spreadsheet on before 12th of February, on before the noon 12th of February. So once you do that, after 2 or 3 days, you will be able to register here. Okay, without submitting your email ID, without submitting your username, you won't be able to click register. Even if you try to click register, it will give you a small pop-up saying registered or is invited participants only. Okay, so what happens when you submit your email address to me? So once you submit your email address on 12th of February, I will upload everything onto this website. Okay, so once I upload everything into this website, then you can click register and then you can see your student's name in the bottom. Okay, so then now you can ask me a question. So what are these students? Like how come they have registered already? So these are like these previous participants who already have the Microsoft account and they have submitted their ID previously. Okay, so newcomers, please submit your username and then your email ID properly. And then now let's go for the username sections. If you do already have your Microsoft account, now how to change the username? Changing an username is really easy. So what you have to do is you have to go to your account over here, top right corner. This is completely normal, but this is completely normal, so don't panic. So this website will take time to load. And yeah, so when you click your account, if you scroll down, there is a place where you can change your username. Okay, so here you can change your usernames. Okay, so the newcomers and the old participants. Okay, so please don't change your username after submitting to Miss Caller or the organizer. Okay, because when you submit your email ID and then the username, I will upload them to the competition. After that, if you try to change the username, you won't be able to register for the competition. Okay, so take time. You have time for like till 12th of February. Okay, so fix your username, fix your email address, and then submit the details to Miss Kaula, okay, through the spreadsheet. After that, like, you will be able to register for the competition. Okay, so this is how you have to change the username. And yes, the next question would be the competitions. Right now I have shown you the first competition, right?
Actually,
Yes,
Jasper, can I just pause you for 1 second? Because
yes, Miss
we've
Kala.
gotten a lot of questions that
Oh,
are
I see.
coming, and even I'm not sure. So I just think maybe before we go on to the next section, if we can look at
Yes, sure.
each of these, it would be good.
Yeah.
So the first one I can address. One of the questions was, does each student have a username? Yes. So everybody should have received their team roster from us, from Special Olympics UAE. And that roster has your student names, the team name, the school name, and the coach's name. Now, we did the rosters by school. So if there's more than one team in your school, they'll all be on the same spreadsheet. Now that spreadsheet is what you are going to complete for us. And in the case of Virtual Robotics Toolkit, there's a column for license code, and there is one license code for each student. So each student will be set up on the platform. That's what we're going through today. So what, people are asking, do I ask my students for emails, blah, blah, blah. I think Jasper, would you agree that the best thing in terms of Virtual Robotics Toolkit is, as we've suggested in past meetings, to meet with your students, okay, and do this live on Teams. So we're teaching you right now, and then you will go back and meet with your students and help them download everything and help them set themselves up, and then you will record. If they're using their school email, that's great. If they want to use a personal email, they may also. There's no problem with that. We just need the correct email listed on the spreadsheet. And we need the username to be inputted just as Jasper outlined for you. And it needs to be consistent for all your team members. So the only thing that will change for each individual student is that little first part that's their name. but the team and the school will be done exactly the same. Okay, Jasper, is that correct?
Let me quickly let me summarize that in Arabic. بالنسبة للملف اللي تم إرساله من الأولمبيات الخاص للمدارس المدرسين، الملف فيه اسم الطالب، اسم الفريق، اسم المدرسة، ومايكروسوفت إيميل واليوزر نيم. فالمطلوب من المدرس إنه يرجع للطالب ويقعد معه مكالمة فيديو، يعلمه كيف يسوي داونلود للتطبيق. في حال استعمال لابتوبات وزارة التربية والتعليم تواصلوا معي عشان ننزل الابليكيشن من طريق الوزارة، ولكن دور المدرس إنه يعلم الطالب كيف ينزل التطبيق، يسوي يوزر نيم حسب التوضيح اللي كان من جاسبر، فقط نغير الاسم الأول واسم الفريق واسم المدرسة يكون بالضبط نفس الشيء لجميع الطلبة عشان ما تروح مشاركتهم عليهم. ويجب تسليمه قبل 12 ظهرا يوم 12 فبراير 12 فبراير 12 PM midday. Jasper.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the license before going to the next step. Okay, so I'm sure you would have received some license key, right? That license key is only for the VRT software. To activate the VRT software, I mean this software. I hope you all can see my screen. So we require the license key for VRT software. Okay, so the question is, like, if you put a license key to your computer, you cannot uninstall and then you can install to another computer. Don't try to put the same key, it won't accept. So all you have to do is first select a computer which will work fine with the VRT software. Okay, because once you put the license key, that's it. Okay, so you have to be very sure of the computer. Okay, so all you need is VRT software, EV3 software, and then an internet connection. Okay, so now I'm going to share some information about the competitions. Okay, so students will be trained on a competition. Okay, so this is a training competition. Okay, so when I click this, a mat will get loaded up. Mat means the place where the robot will perform the program. Okay, so it's getting loaded up. I will show you up. Yeah, there you go. So I hope you all can see there is a mat over here, and then here there is a robot, a small tiny one robot. Okay, so here the competition is all about the line follower game. Okay, so this is the starting point, and the robot should travel all the way, and then it should go to the same starting point to finish. Okay, so whoever is finishing in a least time, they will be the winner. Okay, but you have to be so sure, like, so you have to cross the line. Okay, so you should not miss the line. So we have placed cross checkpoints here, like near the places of the cone. Okay, so you should not miss the checkpoints. Okay, so this is how the competition works. Okay, so now what you're seeing is a practice mat. On a competition day, another competition mat will be uploaded. Okay, okay, so don't get confused. This is only for practicing and then training. Okay, on a competition day, another mat will get uploaded. Again, you have to, you or else the student have to log in and then click register for the final mat. Okay, so we will let you know when the final mat will get uploaded. Okay, so till that we are going to work with this mat. Okay, so there'll be, I will repeat, there'll be a two mat. The first one is what you're seeing, a training mat. With the help of this, the students will learn about VRT software and then the programming. The second mat is nothing but the challenge mat, which will get uploaded very soon. Okay, again, you have to log into this website and then click register for that mat. Okay, so this is what I want to share with you all. So now I'm going to stop here and then I'm going to answer your questions. Let me stop sharing my screen. Yes.
Okay, I want to ask you to understand this. Now, when you're sharing your screen, this is a website.
Yes,
this is a website.
Yes.
And there is another virtual kit. It is a software we will download in the student computers.
Yes, exactly.
But
Yes.
first, we should register our student in this website,
Yes.
as
Yes.
you explained for us.
Yes.
Okay. For the computers, there is a problem, but maybe Mr. Ahmed, he will help us because it is ministry laptops. We cannot download any application or any software.
Okay, I can
Okay,
understand.
I would like to ask you, as I am a coach,
Okay.
just I should meet my student, create their
Yes.
profiles,
Yes.
be
Yes.
sure that the software is on their computers,
Exactly.
finish.
Yes. On above, like on 13th or 14th, you can start registering for the competition. Okay, I'm talking about the training competition. What I showed you now is a training one. So I'm going to meet students, I think 16th onwards. Maybe from that onwards, you can start registering for the competition.
Will the student or train the student how to use the software.
Okay, Besma, Besma, in the packet of information, because a lot of the questions that are coming through are covered and there are resources in that original overview package. So all of you with your spreadsheet received a listing of 3 student trainings along with Zoom codes. So we're meeting with students on the 15th, the 18th, and the 21st, where Jasper and I will be there. Of course, Jasper will be the one actually helping them learn about working on the platform. So they have to be registered and able to on. What we are not doing on the 15th is we are not hosting a help session for students because it won't work. There's too many of them. Okay. And what we're focusing on in those 3 days is helping your students gain the skills that they need to be confident and work independently on the VRT platform. Okay, so what we're asking your support with is this crucial step of getting the software downloaded and getting them registered and getting their rosters to us. So, we do recognize that this is a pain point. And that's why we're having this meeting today. And Jasper's going through, everything step by step. I will ask that questions like about the competition and different things like this, if we can hold those to the end so that Jasper can get through everything, because it's much easier if he can get through everything. Some things may be clearer to you, and then we can ask questions after that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
So
I want to ask.
Yeah.
Can I attend the meeting? Can I attend the student session?
Now listen, when we get to the end, I'll cover that. We're also it's also covered in the overview, and we're gonna cover it in the kickoff. Okay, so right now, really, if we could all let Jasper get through everything so that we can get the big picture of what's happening, then we'll do a quick summary of what Jasper's gone through, and then we'll go to questions. Okay, so I promise no one will leave. I will stay here and answer any question you have, but I just want to put those to the end. So, and again, we have a question about registering students after we submit the roster. If you can just hold that and let's get through the process, and then we'll come back and answer all these questions, okay? All right, Jasper, so we'll just power through and let you finish the whole setup process, and then we'll weed through the questions. Thank you guys so much for your
Yes, yes. Okay. Right.
It's not just our charter schools, we have 7. It's Talim and Bloom charter schools as well, the same software packages. So then to just
Miss Rima, yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so the newcomers, I'm going to repeat again. So what you have to do first is you have to create an account in RVG platform. Okay, so you have to create an account for each and every student who's going to participate in the competition. Okay, So for creating an account, you will be needing Microsoft ID. If you do not have a Microsoft ID, please create one in the Microsoft.com. Okay. So once you create an account, please copy the usernames and then email address and then fix it on the spreadsheet. Okay. Because you will get confused because you're going to deal with more students, right? So first of all, once you complete a student's profile, creating an account, copy the username, email address, the student's name, all the necessary information, fill the Excel sheet first. Okay. And then sign out from here and then log in again and then create an account for the second student. Okay. One thing what I want to tell you is you cannot open multiple tabs. Okay. So if you type robot virtual games again and then hit enter, and then if you try to go to the same website, see what happens. Yeah, see, I still have the same account here. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to sign out and then sign in again into another student's account. Okay, so this will be your step number 1. Okay,
Mr. Jazz, sorry for disturbing, but why we should do this? The students done it already.
yeah, then you are good to go. So what you have to do
Okay,
is,
good. Yes.
Again, Jasper is gonna, as he said, he's gonna go through in the beginning how to set it.
Okay.
Then he's
Okay.
gonna address those issues that affect students that are already on the platform. Okay, and then we'll
Okay.
take questions. So he's gonna get to all of that, but
Okay.
really, please, if we can let him get through, because if we start adding in these other questions, it's going to confuse, you know,
Okay.
it's gonna disjoint. So,
Thank you.
so if you can just wait till the end, we'll get it all straight
Yes.
out, I promise. Okay.
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rima. Thank you, Ms. Kala. So as you can see, we have the participants who have registered already, and thank you so much for the coaches. Like I can clearly see the name, your team name, and then followed by your school name. Okay, so this is the format I want. So thank you so much for the coaches and the mentors. So you are doing it right. Okay, so newcomers, I think like you got my point. First thing is create an account for each and every student and then note it down in the Excel sheet. That will be a step number 1. And the step number 2 is go to your student's computer and then ask them to install the softwares. Okay, 2 softwares. One is VRT software. Okay, it will work fine in all the platforms. It could be a Mac computer, it could be a Windows computer. But there's a challenge for Windows computer. I told you, Windows computer EV3 software has a small challenge. Okay, so I mean Windows computer, we can EV3 computer. Okay, so if you do have EV3 software, so Lego have released 2 versions now. Okay, the recent version is called EV3 Classroom, and the old version is called EV3 Lab Software. So the old version will work fine till 10.14. It's called Mojave. Okay, so the Mac OS version name is Mojave 10.14. So this version of software will work fine with VRT software. Okay, so VRT software and then this version of Windows, I mean EV3 Mindstorm software will work fine together. If you have the recent version of Lego Mindstorm's classroom software, that will not work with VRT software. Okay, so I hope you would have got both the software links with the mail. Okay, so try to use the same link and then download these softwares. Okay, so that will be step number 2, installing the software. Okay, so step number 3 is, so you have to wait until I upload all the details into this website, Robot Virtual Games. Okay, so under this competition, I will upload all the students' details, their email IDs, their names, everything. Okay, so what they can do is on 15th, when the students come to my training classes, they can directly come here, click register, and then they can find their names in the bottom over here. Okay, so once they find their name in the bottom, it clearly says like they have registered. Okay, so then they are good to go. And then what they can do is they can go to VRT software, open up the Microsoft login page, enter the email, same email address and the password, and then when they go to the new project section, when they click competitions in the bottom, they will find the competition mat. So they can open the competition mat and then do the competition. And when they finish the competition, there'll be a small pop-up saying, would you like to submit the results? When they click yes, the results will be captured and the results will be automatically posted here. So for example, Jacob Atlab. So I have completed round 1 and the score is 20 and the time taken to complete the mission is 1 minute 42 seconds. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so this is a challenge mat. So a final mat will get uploaded very soon. Okay, so you can register for that later, not now. Okay, so I hope I'm clear with the basic details. Okay, I'm going to stop here and then I'm going to answer your questions. So let me stop sharing my screen.
Okay, so first, Jasper, let me summarize and then you correct me if I got it wrong.
Yes.
Okay, so the first step is you guys all need to make sure that you have your team roster that came from Special Olympics, all right? So if you do not have your team roster, if you've checked your spam file, first I want to say one very important thing is everybody can please make sure that unified.robotics at specialolympics.ae is safe. If you can make my email, any email you're getting from Special Olympics, if you can please check it as safe so that nothing goes into your spam box, because we are going to have to send some things out in bulk at times. So please make sure that you have your team roster. That's number one. And then you want to download the software that Jasper outlined here. And then Jasper, this is the point I think people are getting confused on as well, is there's a little bit of a break. So you have to submit back to Special Olympics their emails and usernames. And then from there, we have to do a little back of house work to authorize them onto the platform. So that's the reason we need those numbers by the noon on the 12th, so that by the 15th, when they are working with us, and probably before, but at the very latest, when they come to us on the 15th, they're ready to go. So did I get that correct? I know that's very brief, but I just wanted to, is that correct, Jasper? Anything vital? Yeah.
No, you're right, ma'am.
Okay, so now we want to go ahead and address, I'm sorry, Ahmed, do you want to recap in Arabic?
Yes. أستاذ برير، الخطوات بالعربي بترجمها وبرسلها في الشات بوكس. You can go ahead, Paula.
Okay, so some of the questions that we've had are about the software requirements, the Mac and the EV3 software requirements. Jasper, most of the software requirements are also in printed form in the program overview as well, for your reference. We have about a couple of pages that go through the software requirements. And if you have any particular issue with your software or your system, Jasper's email, please don't email me. I don't know anything about that, unfortunately. But if you have a problem with your specific platform, Jasper's email is at the end of that presentation, and you can send him, it's best if you send him like a screenshot so that he can let you know a way around that. Do students get to practice in the final map before competition? Okay, so what your students are gonna have access to for the next 5 weeks, okay, after the kickoff, so starting next week. Kickoff is on Saturday from 10 to 11:30. And then they're going to have access to challenges that are training challenges. So they are going to work on that platform and the competition map that Jasper showed. And that's a training mission. So we don't want the students to be shy to submit, like, you know, if they're bad scores or something like that, or, you know, we want them to practice as much as they can, because remember, they also have to work together as a team. So if you have 4 students on a team and one of them is submitting, you know, tons of scores and high scores, and then you have 2 of them that are struggling, well, that's not going to win them the competition, because this is about teamwork. So the teams need to, you know, work together. They're going to work with Jasper during those 3 sessions, and they're going to train. Now the competition mission that's going to happen on March 20th, and again, we're going to go over this on Saturday, is going to be a dedicated competition challenge. So it will be something they did not see before, but it will be, none of the skills necessary will be, you know, new. So everything that they're doing on the mat during the 4 or 5 weeks will be the same exact thing that they'll do during the competition, but they will not have access to the competition challenge until the competition. No one will. Do coaches get license keys? No. So coaches, what we're doing is Atlab is providing teacher access for everyone who is registered as a coach. So from the spreadsheet, registration spreadsheet, we will be assigning teacher access to the coaches. And that way you will be able, first of all, you won't show up on the leaderboard, and you will be able to see, observe your students' progress. VRT platform after we submit the roster. Yes, so you download the software, and then you submit the roster, and then you're going to submit the roster to me on the 12th. And then when your students arrive on the 15th for training, it will work. They will be up on the platform. They can try beforehand, but they need to give it a couple of days.
Ms. Khawla? Ms.
Yeah.
Khawla? For the license key, at which level you want to know who has and who doesn't have?
Rima, that's only between ADNOC School and me. So let's keep that private chat, because you're the only school that has that issue. So we need to do that either by a private phone call or email. Okay.
Okay, and I just need a favor from Mr. Jazz to give us exactly the names of the softwares, because first time some students downloaded the wrong one. So
okay,
can we have the exact
the software name? Is, again, Jasper, confirm with me, the software is all in the overview package, and the links are there. So in that document that we sent out with the timeline, it has all of the setup instructions, complete with live links for the downloads. So just go back and refer to that. If you have trouble finding where it is in there, you can send Jasper an email, but they're all in there. Okay, now students register by Microsoft account or email. By a Microsoft email. Correct, Jasper? So if your school is using Teams, then the school email is fine.
It should be the same thing. The Microsoft account is the Microsoft email.
Yeah. And then do coaches need to register all students on the website? So coaches need, help me with this, Jasper, that I'm explaining it correctly. Coaches need to assign, so we want all of your students, because honestly, I haven't talked to one coach that has students that are all sitting together working side by side. So every student has been given a license code. So every student is going to have their own account, so they can individually log in. And so, yes, on the spreadsheet, on the team roster that we've provided you, each student is listed, and each student has a license code next to their name or in the row with their name. And you need to fill out for each student their Microsoft email and their username. And each of those students needs to download the software, because they're not going to be able to work on the website if they do not have the software downloaded. And to point out, there is for those of you who are involved also with Coder Z, there is a difference here. The Virtual Robotics Toolkit requires these downloads, okay, the 2 software downloads. So the students need to pick a device, a laptop or a desktop that they have access to, because they cannot, like the Coder Z, the younger students, they can move around devices because there is no downloading. All right, but the Virtual Robotics Toolkit, the students need access to the same device. Ahmed, is there anything you want to recap in? And Ahmed has provided in the chat box very kindly the download links.
And Ms. Khawla?
Yes.
One question related to the username of the tech coach. Do you need it in a certain format or just my name and last name good enough?
The username for the tech coach?
Yeah, you said we need to register as tech coaches and you need
No,
our
no, you
emails.
already have, Basma. You already have.
Okay.
So when the teams were registered, there was a box where it says the coach's name, the coach's email, the coach's phone number. So each team was registered with at least one, some of them had 2 or even 3 coaches listed. So you don't need to do anything else. You're already listed.
That's clear, Rima. All good?
Yeah, it's clear. But and the record for this one, can we share it with our students? Because I think it's useful. Would you mind?
Share what with your students?
The record of this session.
Rima, you can, but what we are encouraging, this is one of the things that we talked about like in the pre-registration meetings, that this is something that we are, asking coaches to take responsibility for. This was one of the pain points in the preseason, was that students were just kind of sent a page of information and directions and a license code, and they were asked to follow directions. And what happened was that the students didn't follow directions carefully, or they ran into problems, and we had a lot of students that we couldn't find on the platform. And students,
yes, I agree with you.
So what we're asking you to do, whereas you can share all of the information that we have, but we are asking that everybody meet with their students.
Sure.
So when you're sending in the team roster to us, our expectation is that you have ensured that everybody has their software downloaded and that they all know what their email and username is, and that they all are ready for the 15th. So
yes,
you can share anything, Rima, one second. So you can share anything you want, but we do ask that you make sure that this is one of the roles for the adult mentor, is to make sure that they are over this hurdle and onto the platform. Okay.
Thank you.
And somebody's asked about enrolling a new team. I'm so sorry, but we really cannot, because the window to get all of the registrations on the platforms and such is just too short at this point. So we do, anybody that has gotten interest from other students, please keep track of those students, and we hope that they can join the next Unified Robotics competition. Okay. Ahmed, is there anything you want to recap in Arabic?
No, it's all good. Clear.
Okay. Jasper, is there any point that's come up that you feel you want to add to, or you feel everything is clear?
Oh, okay. I would like to talk about one point. So the difference between the training mat and the actual challenge mat. Okay, so there'll be a difference between the training mat. Okay, so I hope like you all saw my screen. That will be a training mat. Okay, and the competition mat will be released soon. and that will be a little bit different from this map. It's like a little more complex one. Okay, so but the principle will be the same. Like even that would be a line follower game where the students have to program the robot and then start from start area and then move the robot and then try to reach the finished area in least time. So that will be the difference. Other than that, everything is still the same.
Muted. We had a couple of questions come in about the, okay, so Samia, you said you have a question regarding the licensing of software. Can you go ahead and explain that to Jasper?
Thanks, Ms. Khala. Yes, I want to ask a question. I remember I received an email earlier when we started Unified Robotics pre-season that once we got a license for one student, we cannot assign it to any other students because they already installed it on the computer.
Yeah, so
at this point, in the team members, will it be possible to reassign the license, or
no.
if it is difficult, I would like to go with the same team?
So Samia, yeah. So if you have a particular issue within your team where you've changed, because some teams that were working with us in the preseason training, they've changed. Maybe they've added a student or a student has dropped out, like this. If you have a specific issue about your team and you need a new license code for one of them, then please just email directly to me and I'll straighten that out for you. Okay, so no problem. Anybody that has an individual issue like that, just go ahead and send us an email and we'll handle that for you. Now, Besma, you said you have an issue registering your first student. What exactly is your issue? Can you explain it so Jasper can understand?
Okay, I try to follow the steps that he telling us to do it. I will share my screen. It's okay? Hello?
It's okay, you can share your screen.
Okay. This is the website. Okay, I will click sign to register my student.
Okay.
Then it gives me sign in with Microsoft.
Yes.
I click here.
Yeah. Okay.
Look what I get. I get something, I cannot do it.
Okay.
Yes, Jasper.
Sorry,
Yes,
Basma, it's okay. This is for government school. You can click have an admin account and you can go ahead, Basma.
What again?
Basma, you can go ahead because it's for admin schools in government school. You can click have an admin and you can follow the registration.
Okay, I will see. I can follow the registration again. 1 second, I want to be sure. Okay, I click. No, that means I should sign as admin. Oh, it is coming. Okay,
now
thank
you.
you.
Can select your admin. Okay, Basma, it's okay.
Okay, shukran.
Welcome. Basma.
Thank you, Mr.
I'm sorry, Ms. Hawla, about speaking. I'm sorry, sorry.
No, thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
We're all here to learn together. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Keep trying to talk while I'm muted. Are there any more questions regarding the setup, or do you all feel that it's clear? Besma, again, all of the contact emails are in the presentation that was given to you. So please, the two things I want everyone to please check for is A, that you have received your team roster, and B, that you have a copy of the overview.
استاذ بريد عشان تكون واضحه مع الروابط
للجميع ابو حميد.
قال لك
ان شاء الله يس.
استاذ احمد.
بس للملاحظ الموقع كله بيكون بالانجليزي والمسابقه، فان شاء الله تكونوا متمكنين منها بطريقه انه تشاركوا بالمسابقه.
لا متمكنين استاذ احمد، توكل على الله ان شاء الله باذن الله.
ان شاء الله يعطيكم العافيه وبالتوفيق.
Okay,
Thank you,
now
Mr. Khawla. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you, Mr. Gasper.
I want to just give 1 second if there are any specific questions left from any coaches that were involved in the preseason that are still having trouble adjusting the usernames. Is there anybody that's still having a problem and would like to ask a question? Yay, okay.
Paula, I haven't registered the children yet, so I'm not sure that I will have a problem, but I'm sure with all these instructions, I will be all right. I just have one question, please. Since all the children have their individual license key and they're doing this separately, how do you encourage team spirit? How do they do this as a team together?
So what we, I mean, during the preseason, what we encouraged and what we've spoken about in some of the pre-registration informational meetings is obviously, yes, it is very easy to let the kids go off on their own and, you know, sit in their bedrooms or their sections and do this on their own. But what we encourage coaches to do is to have meetups. So the idea being that the kids are getting together, whether it's, and this can be whatever works for your team, you know, if it's, you know, once a week, if it's twice a week for half an hour, if it's, you know, like a boot camp kind of thing where one team wants to get together for a few hours on the weekend, however it works for them, we encourage them to work together so that they can teach each other. Because what we found in the preseason is, you know, you could very clearly see the teams that were connected and the teams that were isolated from each other. The ones that were connected, their scores were pretty close, right? They were all submitting, they were all sort of at the same point in the training missions. Okay, and then you had other teams where you'd have one child who'd finished everything and the other 3 teammates had maybe finished 1. So, you know, it becomes obvious that, you know, there's a disconnect there. So those are the kind of things that we're looking for. So, you know, supporting each other with sharing skills and staying kind of on the same pace. But then we're also going to be, you know, looking at like a criteria for like most inclusive team. There's an opportunity for them to produce something creative together to represent their team. So what we suggest is that you create, you know, through teams or wherever you meet up for school, you create a space for them on a regular basis so that they're working together.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we reinforce that when we work with them as well.
Not a problem. So they are to attend the kickoff event with the coaches and these 3 mandatory sessions. Is that what I understand? And then besides that, we can plan other sessions for them to work together.
Exactly. So we want everyone to attend the kickoff event from 10 to 11 on Saturday. Just to, you know, get an overview of the competition. Obviously, coaches, anybody interested in the school, the students, their families. It's a great opportunity for the families to be able to see what's happening and what their kids are involved with. And, you know, it's on Zoom, so if you're on the go, you can watch it on your phone. You can watch it at the park or the beach. So, you know, it's not something you have to be at home and sitting down and studying. We will have a question and answer as well. So, okay, if we can just ask everyone to mute.
أنا بعرفش هي قريبة منك ودي لها هي هذا قريبة منك.
Parents can yeah, parents can you know, ask questions, coaches can ask questions, students can ask questions at the kickoff event. And then yes, there are 3 mandatory sessions, and again, we will record them, but we really hope that students will come, and that's the 15th, the 18th, and the 21st. And then they have about 4 weeks to work together until the competition event on the 20th of March. And as Jaffer mentioned, on the 20th of March, that's a really important date for all your teams because that is a live competition. This is not a competition where we're just looking at their training scores and then we're going to pass out certificates, or you're going to send a video and we're going to send you certificates. No, it's an actual live competition on the 20th. So, please make sure that all the families have that on their calendars because they're going to actually come together as a team and work on that training mission that they would not have seen before. So it'll be brand new and they'll work on it for about 2 hours. And then though that is the score that's going to look and see who is fifth.
I am so sorry, Miss Khawla.
Yeah.
But we cannot hear. Miss Basma, please.
أستاذة
Miss
بسمة.
Basma, please. Make mute.
Just
Thank
wait.
you. Yes, Miss Khawla, I am so sorry.
No, it's okay. She's muted now. Yeah, so on the 20th, that's a really important date because it's a live competition. So, please make sure that your parents, and again, in the overview package, you have the full details and all of those dates are confirmed. And all of the Saturday dates will be starting around 10 a.m. The duration will be a little bit different, but they'll all start around 10 a.m. And you will very shortly be getting a revised timetable with the exact times and the Zoom links for everything.
Is that the revised timetable that we share with the children? I remember you mentioning that.
Listen, the timetable that you have right now is confirmed. So that, that can be shared with anyone. So, have your parents mark the date. But we have assigned now, we sent you through the Zoom links for the training sessions on the 15th, the 18th, and the 20th.
Yes, thank you, I've got.
Yeah. But we are just finalizing things for the competition on the 20th, but it will start around 10 o'clock and most likely run for about maximum 2.5 hours. But it is, the issues we're having is we may have to split it up based on the number of teams. So, but the date is firm. The competition date will not change.
Thank you very much for that.
No problem. And again, after the kickoff event, everything that's outlined in the kickoff event, including the rubrics, will be sent in an email bundle to all the coaches. Receive an invite for the kickoff event. Okay, so you're receiving a save the date today, and you know the date. The date is this Saturday. It's 10 to 11, and I'm sending you right now a save the date. After we close here, a save the date in Arabic and English. We ask that you please send those out to your parents as soon as possible, and then that will be followed tomorrow by a Zoom link. We had many more teams than we anticipated, so we've had to change our hosting platform. So that link will come through by tomorrow, but the time and the date is firm. Okay, are there any other questions?
So Ms. Kola, can you add something regarding the software?
Yes, Jasper, please.
Okay, so coaches, okay, so if you do have Windows computer in your, if the students do have the Windows computer, please ask them to use Windows computer. I personally suggest to use Windows computer. And if you don't have any other choice, and if you're still unsure about the software installation, please mail me, and then we will sort this out. That's it from my side.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Jasper, I have one question.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah, it's a confirmation. See, my school, GEM school, uses Teams almost everywhere. In the Teams, every student has e-learning password. E-learning
email ID, like a student at the rate gemselearning.com. That is a Microsoft account, that email can be used?
Yes, you can use that.
Okay, in that case, the student should already should have his own password. But when I create in the VRT, I will assign some generic password and later ask him to change it. Is that way I should do?
Yes. Like if he or she is not comfortable with the password, they can change, or else they can use the password which you give them.
Yeah, because since I'm registering many students as a coach, I will be giving one generic password for all of them. The moment they log in, and they can change their own password.
Yes, you are right.
Okay, that way the email IDs which I'm going to use is already with us due to the Teams usage, which the process will be much more easier, right?
Yes,
that is the Microsoft ID you mean to say, right?
Yes,
okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I keep talking while I'm muted, sorry. So I will be sending you out the recording this evening of this. And again, we are all available by email, and we really highly recommend that everybody interested in Unified Robotics attend the kickoff event. We are keeping it within an hour. There will be live Q&A at the end. So please encourage parents to come. If there's any staff that's curious about the program, please let them attend and learn a little bit more. And we look forward to seeing you and all your students this weekend, and then starting to work with you all next week. All right, thank you very much. Thank you to Jasper and Ahmed for joining us today. And we'll see you guys all on Saturday. All right, take care.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
يكون فعالية الإطلاق لمدة ساعة يوم السبت. الدعوة عامة للجميع، المجتمع، أولياء الأمور، المدرسة، الإدارة، الطلبة، وفيها تفاصيل البرنامج كاملة. شكرا لكم، بالتوفيق. Thank you everyone. Have a great day ahead.
Have a nice evening. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jasper.